What's up, guys? This is Westpoint Steve, coming at you with another submission video for GDQ. This is more towards your new gen runs. So this is Diablo 3. This is Diablo 3, a new game plus any percent console run. I'm playing this off the Xbox One. This game is it's got different characters. This run is focused solely on Demon Hunter. I currently hold the second place time in this category with 1 hour 15 minutes and 43 seconds. This is a long run due to the fact that we have a lot of map RNG that we deal with, and a lot of things that we'll discuss throughout this run. There's a lot of pieces for the character that are needed before you do a new game plus run, and I'll get into those as we're going throughout this whole video. So first thing you got to do is you have to set up the gameplay so that it is on campaign mode, and you want to do it with the lowest difficulty possible. And so the lowest difficulty possible is normal, so I'm going to set it all the way up to normal, and we're good to go. So now we're ready to do our run. And so here we go. This is, like I said, this is a long run, so I estimate this run to probably about 1 hour and 25 minutes, just because of little map RNG that you could have, and it can be very painful. So here's the beginning of the game. You start off in New Tristram, and as you can see, I have a lot of abilities that take out enemies really quickly, and we'll get talking about those here momentarily, but I'm going to start off with the beginning of the game. You take out these guys really quickly, and you head over to the cafe, Slaughter Cafe. Take out these guys, and this is where you meet Leah, and Leah will become a focal point later in the game. And so we start off with this game, and as you can see, I'm using what's called Vault, and I'm using this repeatedly over and over, and this is how you can go fast in the game when you're doing New Game Plus. And it's very hard to do, just because of the fact that you have to get certain items to make you do unlimited Vault, and I'm going to talk about that right now. Couple things that I have to have in order for me to do this. I need to have what's called dual weapons, and you have a lot of green set items. They go classified. If you're familiar with the Diablo games, they classify, your special magic items, your regular items with like white lettering, blue items, then yellow items, then gold items are the legendary set items, and then you have the green ones, which are your special set items. And in order for you to do this, of what I'm doing right now, you need a lot of green items, and so that's what I had to do in Explore, and a lot of that was done through the adventure mode. So as I'm going here now, I'm in Cathedral. I'm in the first main part of the run, where map RNG can get really bad, because you have to find the next room, and if you can't find the next room really quickly, then you're stuck. We're gonna save Decker Kane here, so here we go. So what I have here is I'm going back onto the green set items. What I have here are two dual weapons for the Demon Hunter, and they're I can't think of them right off the bat, but I have these two dual weapons called Dayanetta's Revenge and Dayanetta's Spite. And what they both do is it allows the Vault to be used with your Hatred, which is the left side of the orb, where it's more like that orange color, instead of using Discipline, which is the right side. And so I can use, I have a lot more Hatred than I do Discipline, and so it allows me to use Vault multiple times, and which is a very good thing. It also helps when I have Vengeance on, which is when I press the X button. So when I use Vengeance, it increases my Hatred regeneration, so I can do this repeatedly. And I also use Companion, which also gains hatred every time I press A. It'll add more hatred to my pack. And so it allows me to do vault repeatedly throughout the whole time. So it makes me look like I'm just going spinning, spinning, spinning the entire way through. And that's what I actually want to do. However, sometimes you get into a map like this where vault is actually gets a little tough. And so there's times where I get stuck and I'll, be vaulting and not realize that I'm actually stuck because I'm actually looking at the right corner of the screen at the map to make sure where I'm going and if I'm going in the right direction. Now this is where RNG can be a pain in the butt. So right now I'm in a defiled crypt, and if I don't get the right defiled crypt, then I'm doing this right here. And this actually wasted about a whole minute to my beginning part of my run. And so I have to find the right defiled crypt to get to certain boss fight. And so that's what I'm working on right here right now. So I'm trying to get to my certain try to get to certain areas in the game. And so moving on with what I'm discussing here with my vaulting. It's very important, and as you can see, the RNG for the map could be very, very painful. So I just wasted time just trying to find the opening. And here we go. Now I could get to where I need to go. So what I need to do is I'm trying to get King Loric's tomb, and right now I'm trying to get there. And so what I need is the town portal, so I get this mission, get the town portal. Now I'm coming back. All right, so now what else I could do, and what I have is when I use the multi-shot, which is the R trigger button. The R trigger is my multi-shot, and that's going to be very important because I need to use multi-shot to kill these boss fights in one shot. And so boss fights are going to be really critical. I cannot waste time with boss fights. They have to come really quick. So what I have to help me with that is the Marauder set. And so the Marauder set's 6 different pieces. I only have 5 of the pieces, and you're probably going to be like, how does this all work? Well, I'm going to explain all that when I get a chance. But the Marauder set actually helps me add sentries, and since I have a whole bunch of them, sentries add 12,000% damage anytime I place them down. So every sentry I put down will add more damage to the fight of my multi-shot, and which makes life a lot easier for boss fights, which means I could take them out in one shot. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be taking out these boss fights with one shot, and it's because of the sentries, and the sentries are going to help me a ton. Finally, Captain Crimson's helps me. I'm going to have that on in this run. If I were to do it, I'm going to have Captain Crimson's couple set pieces there, because those 2 pieces helps me reduce the cooldown and resource cost, and so it allowed me to use it a little bit more effectively, and I'll get to use Vault as much as I can. Alright, so here's more map RNG where I'm trying to find the next opening, and sometimes I'll find an arrow that'll help me if I get into the right areas, and that's gonna, I'll be discussing that a little bit further as we get along. There's so much to discuss on how to do this run, as we're going through. And a lot of the beginning phases is like this Act 1 is pretty basic act, and so there's not a lot to it other than map RNG and trying to get through. So here we go. We're getting near to our first major boss fight to Act 1. And we're getting to the Skeleton King. And so I'm going to show you how I utilize everything for this. So kill off these skeletons, come over here, and you try to skip the cutscenes as quick as you can. I place 2 of those sentries down, and I kill them in one shot, and that's really quick. It's a really quick boss fight. So I place 2 of them down, and it takes them out in one shot. We find out that guy's Tyrael. Spoilers if you haven't played the game. Alright. So a little bit more than what I have here. The skills that I have are Companion, which is the A button. We have Vengeance, which is the X button. Y is my Vault. B are the sentries. RB is Rain of Vengeance. I hardly ever use that. I'll use that in little areas, which kills enemies pretty quickly in normal. Not so much in any other higher difficulties, but it'll take people out in certain areas really quickly. And then I have my multi-shot, and multi-shot's going to be used a ton, so I could get through areas really quick and take out enemies multiple guys at a time. And like you see, the sentries are helping out too, and sentries are causing them just as much damage as what I'm doing with my multi-shot. And as you can see, the sentries are also doing multi-shots, which is part of the Dayanetta's spite and revenge. So having those two guns are going to be very important to this whole run. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so now we're getting to other areas here. Now that cave where I just found that cave, the fine part of the sword, you have to put together a sword, Tyrael's sword together. Can be that quick, or could take a long time, and it just depends. And so I'm taking out these guys right here. So where I'm at right now, and so, like, I haven't explained too much of Act 1. It's just because Act 1 is just very simple and basic. It's a lot of easy stuff that I'm going through. I'm already 10 minutes into this run. Act 1, you find Tyrael, you save Deckard Cain, you find Tyrael, you're putting pieces to the sword together. Pieces of his sword fell in different places because he destroyed a church where Deckard Cain was, and Leo happened to be there all at the same time, and it was just bad. And so trying to find Deckard Cain was the very first mission that I was doing. And now I'm here trying to figure out who this guy is. We don't know it's Tyrael at the beginning, but we find out really quickly it's Tyrael. And so right now we're finding the pieces to his sword, and that's the other parts that fell from the sky when Tyrael came in and crashed through the church. And so that's what we're dealing with right now. We're trying to find all these pieces to the sword. So map RNG is where everything gets a little bit funky in this run, because the right RNG, the faster this run goes. The wrong RNG makes this run could cost like minutes, seconds to this run. So that's why I put it at an hour and 25 minutes, because of that, it can go to an hour and 5-minute run, which would be a world record if this were played, or could be a hour 15-minute run where my run is at currently, and then it could be hour and 22 minutes. It just depends on how the RNG for the map comes out versus RNG on characters. The characters all come out the same way. It's basically the same type of stuff with the characters. There's nothing much more to this run. However, it gets easier as you play through it multiple times, because you know the exact things that you're doing, but at the same time, locations on certain maps can be a little bit difficult, and that's what I'm going to be dealing with most of the time in this whole entire run. Alright, so now we're about halfway through Act 1. We're now going to Wortham, where we find that part of the sword was found inside this burning church. We're like, oh great, here we go. Well, Magda, who we'll fight later in Act 2, is trying to stop you from doing all that, and she's doing her thing to try to stop you, but it's too easy on normal, so we just blast through everybody. We come to find out, well, this piece that was here is not there anymore, and we basically were lied to, and then basically we have found out that Deckard Cain is about to die, and Deckard Cain actually dies right there in that scene, so we skip the scene, and we're moving on to the next area. Okay. Alright. Now, I'm going to just talk about after this here. This is an important area that we're going to talk about with Act 1. We're getting inside to this caverns of I can't say her name very well. Irenea, Irene. Anyway, she's the Spider Queen. Let's just call her the Spider Queen. So here we are in the caverns where the Spider Queen's going to be located, and this map can suck really bad. Like, I will struggle with if I can't find it, like I'm doing right here, right now. Like, I'm wasting time trying to find where to go. And if I can't find where to go immediately, it's not going to be pretty. So here we go. I'm trying to find where I need to be. To get to the Spider Queen lair, it goes off to the right. Up to the top right part of the screen. So I'm finding this long hallway. That was what I needed to find first. And then once I get there, I know exactly where to go from there. And so as you can see, I wasted probably about 20 to 30 seconds just trying to find the lair of the Spider Queen. And so here we go. I laid down 2 sentries again, trying to kill the Spider Queen. 1 kill, and I just did that. And as you can see, I'm walking away from like, I guess you could say, like, script, because there's certain scripts in the game where it's like, okay, I have to talk to the person, and you'll see a exclamation point telling you have to talk to this person, so you talk to them really quick, and then there's some that doesn't even like show up on screen, and they just talk to you, and it could waste a good chunk of time. So what I do is I go away from the text, go away from the character, and it moves on. It moves you on. And so when you go back to the character, you can then all of a sudden move on with what you're trying to do. In this map right there, I was finding a wagon, and that wagon is all RNG based. There's 3 or 4 different locations on where that wagon can be. And I got lucky that it was on the left side. There's 1 location to the right side where it could be, and then the other 3 locations are on the left side of the map. And if you get the left side, it's very, very helpful, because you don't have to worry about going to the other side of the map and wasting some precious seconds. All of this is based on precious seconds. Okay, we're in the Halls of Agony level 1. These 2 halls are pretty easy to navigate through. For this hall here, you have to look for big knives cutting down, and once you find the big knives cutting down, that means you're near the exit. And so that's what I'm looking for right now through this little section here. As you can see, I didn't find it immediately, so gotta keep looking, and I find out that I actually go in a circle, which is not cool. And so this is not cool. So there's the big knives coming down, and that's where it tells you, okay, you're near the exit, and there it is. Boom. Okay. So I lost about 30 seconds right there of time, and if I can hit that immediately, it's not a time loss at all. But go into the Halls of Agony 2. It's always bottom right corner where the spawn always comes, and so you gotta just find that location, and usually the location's pretty quick right there. Alright, so now we're getting to some little things here with this first act run. The Cursed Hole, you have to find 6 prisoners, and you have to free these prisoners, and this could be a pain in the butt. I actually found one time, and this was strictly all luck that this even happened. I found all 6 prisoners to one side, and that is a very rare occurrence. And if that happens, there could be a very huge time save to Act 1 if that ever occurs. But most of the time you'll have several on the left and you have several on the right. So right now I have found 3 on the left, and then I have a couple more here to find. And some of these, and again, it's all about map RNG, and as you can see, some of these cell holding places here are not the best in the world. And so you're trying to figure out, okay, where's this next one? And there he is, he's finally there. Okay, when that happens, then you get the guy, then you get the nice warden coming down. He's very easy. You just place a nice little sentry down, and this takes 1 shot to get rid of. I placed 2, obviously, just for safekeeping. Once you kill him, the gate goes down, then you go through. And again, I'm using a lot of vengeance and companion to make sure I have enough hatred to get through everybody. Alright, so here we go. We're in the Hall of Agony level 3. And again, certain areas, certain maps will always do the same thing on where the location of the exit is, but the maps spawn in different ways. And so right now I'm working on trying to find this location. There it is. And the exit point will always be on the top right corner, so I have to be going towards the top right corner to get this. Okay, here we go. Place my sentries. Boom, down he goes. The Butcher, that's the main boss of Act 1. Taking care of him. Now we get down to where they finally captured Tyrael for a second. And so here we go. We're capturing Tyrael. They have captured Tyrael for a second, and they finally set him free. And this is basically telling us this is going to be the end of Act 1. And so this is me trying to get through this, really quick. Try to get through the script and all that kind of stuff. Get the Tyrael, talk to him really quick, then go down to this guy, and we're off to Act 2. Alright. Okay. So I got a gold split on that. I could have done that about a minute, 2 minutes faster, had it not been for certain RNG. This is Act 2. We are in the desert, basically. And we're basically going to be dealing with some map RNG again in this stage. But then you're early going. I'm going to be dealing with certain RNG that usually is not too bad and not too heavy, and it's usually the same stuff that happens right at the beginning. So basically all of this stuff happens really quickly. Again, I'm walking away from any time that I know when the character's talking, so that the talking can stop and the next thing can happen. But the only time I have to really talk to somebody is if they have that exclamation point over their head. This is a point where I should have not have done that, because it stalled for a second. It decided, hey, you know what, I'm not gonna do anything. You can skip that little scene there. You don't have to talk to them. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm trying to find the hidden cellars so that we can stop their rituals. And we found one over here. So I start with the right side, go over to the right side, and usually all you gotta do is just take out a dude or two, and then you're done. Come out over here, and I'm going to the left side. The other one's on this left side somewhere. And usually it's on the top left, from what I've been able to find. But it was not here this time. So I start searching. There it is right here. Okay. So I got those guys taken care of. Now we move on. Oh, I actually missed. Oh, did I miss? No. Okay. So I'm moving back on. Okay, so the Enchantress is going to help us with this bridge, and she's going to be very helpful. Alright, so I'm going to talk about some other things that I have that kind of sets my run apart. And I know I can probably get world record for this category if I have everything happen well in the first act, and then Act 5 is a dangerous act for RNG as well. But we'll get into that. Alright, so here we go. We have some powers that we have to discuss. And what the Reaper of Souls has now is that you're allowed to have powers, certain powers. And what you can do is you can extract little powers from legendary weapons. And when you do that, you can set those to yourself so that you always have them, and you don't have to have the weapon for it. And so I have 3 of them that are very important to this run. So here we go. We have the Bombardier's Rucksack. And what that gives me is 2 extra sentries. So if you think, 24,000% extra damage to your multi-shot isn't good enough, well, let's go and double that even more to 48,000%. And that's helpful when you're leveling up your character, and that's grand for that. The second thing is the Spalders of Zakara, which makes your items indestructible. So at no point in this run you will see a guy looking like he's broken, and that means I have to repair my equipment. So on the off chance that I happen to die, which will not happen under normal, my character is just too too big for this difficulty. Um, this will go by really quickly. And then next thing I have is the Ring of Royal Grandeur, which reduces the set pieces for your green set items, your legendaries, your green legendaries, by 1. And so this is the reason why my Modders set, I don't have all the pieces to it. I only need 5 instead of 6. I don't need all 6 pieces to do this. And so that's one of the main things that's important about having the set pieces. But the problem is I have to have at least 2. And so Dayanetta's Spite and Revenge are important because those are the only 2 in the set. But the other pieces, such as the Captain Crimsons, I'm allowed to have those properties with the set because I only have 2 of the 3. The Marauders set, I have 5 of the 6. I don't need to have all 6 of them to do it. And so it's making this a lot easier to handle because of that one legendary power. So I take those legendary powers to the advantage so that I can do the run and use Vault forever so I can get through a lot of these pieces of the game. And we want to move fast anyway. I mean, we're doing a speed run, so we want to move fast at the beginning anyway. And so those pieces are important to make my character strong enough so I can just be doing this the entire way through instead of just normal running. So here we go. So that's why Vault is important for this speed run. And for the Demon Hunter, because this is the only quick maneuver for the Demon Hunter, versus it's not the fastest character in the game by far, but this Demon Hunter has, because I like this character a lot, this Demon Hunter actually has his own traits and characteristics that make his run a lot different from other runs of Diablo 3. Definitely the PC version of the game is a lot faster, and I get that. But the console version also has its little quirks and stuff like that. And so it's still learning to try to make this run a lot more optimal because not a lot of people have run it. And so this is an interesting way of showcasing Diablo 3 through the console. Alright, so like I said, I'm playing this off of Xbox One. So it makes the loading times a little bit faster compared to other console runs, but this is, like I said, this is the second place run. I hold the second place time right now in this category. So right here, I needed to find the Forgotten Ruins, and the Forgotten Ruins can be in 8 different locations on that map. And so I'm like scrambling to see where this location is. And then once you get inside the Forgotten Ruins, you have to find Zoltan Kuhl's heart. And this is what you're trying to work on right now. You're trying to resurrect Zoltan Kuhl only to just kill him at the end of the act, which is really funny why we even do that in the first place. Alright, so a couple things there. When you try to find the heart can be in so many different locations. I've spent minutes trying to figure out where he's at, where his heart is at, and that could be such a time loss on this run if you're trying to scramble to find where the heart is. And hopefully my goal is to find the heart quickly. Alright. So now we see Zoltan Kuhl's ghost. I guess you want to call him ghost, I don't know. Now he somehow has powers to open doors. So now we're going to get into this section here where we have to unlock gates because now we're in this water area, waterway. So we're in the Western Channel first. We're going to unlock this. And again, it's all about map RNG. So if I don't know where it's at, and luckily this arrow popped up to tell me that that I need to go up that way to find it. And I got so lucky with RNG that the arrow came out to tell me where it's at, so I can move on to the Eastern Channel. Now, like I said, arrows sometimes will pop up if you're on a map to tell you that the exit's going this way and you're almost there. Whereas sometimes you get unlucky just like I did and you go the wrong direction I'm wasting like precious time right now having to backtrack and then go into the right direction, figure out where everything is. And so now I'm going through really quickly. Hopefully I can find it. I'm just finding dead ends. And this is like the whole gist of the run. It's all about map RNG. Can you get to the exit points and not find the dead ends? And so I'm finding dead ends. And here we go again. I'm going to have to backtrack through. And so I'm like wasting time trying to go back through. And it's precious time too, because all those seconds will matter at the end where, you know I can make this run maybe a sub hour 10-minute run. But with all the precious time that I lose because of the map RNG, it makes it tough. So here we go. Right now, we find this guy, and I call it Kung Fu Panda because it's it's the voice actor, Covetous Shem, voice actor from the Kung Fu Panda. I believe he's the duck, Poe's dad from well, supposedly his dad, from the Kung Fu Panda series. Kung Fu Panda movies, but he's the guy. He's the voiceover for that character, so it's really cool. I always say, "Hey, I found Kung Fu Panda." All right, so moving on. Desolate Sands. We have to find 2 caves in here, and this is not gonna be easy. This is a really big map, and there's one of them right there. So I need to find one of these. The Vault of the Assassin is one of them, and I need to find this. This is one of the things I need to find. This has Zoltan Kuhl's blood, so we need to find his blood. And again, we're just gonna find it. There it is. Got lucky that I find it immediately. Move on, because you can also spend a lot of time in this trying to find it. And then you gotta find also now the cave, and I got lucky that the cave and the vault were all in the same spot. So that's very lucky RNG. That never really happens. Usually one's on the left side of the map and then the one's on the other far end of the map on the right. And that's just such a time waste to try to vault your way over to the other side trying to find the other cave. So usually you find one or the other really quickly, and then it's that second one that you have to find that takes forever. But these two were right next to each other really quick. And again, map RNG is playing with me. I just went in a circle, and now I'm trying to find the exit, and there's the exit. Had I gone one other way instead of the other, I would have been there really quickly. Alright, so here we go. We're moving on to this one, level 2, and this is where you find the blood. And the blood will be on the top left corner of the screen. So I know I need to go to the top left corner. And sometimes it's a small map, and sometimes it's a very big map, like it is right now. I've had it where it's really quick to get to, and then I've had it where it took that long to get to the end of it. So again, map RNG is all about this game. All right, now we're going on, and once we get the blood, now we go into his nice little archives. So now we're going to archives, and as you can see, I was zigzagging there. This is sometimes the problem with Vault. Sometimes you go in and all of a sudden you're zigzagging and you're not going straight ahead like you want to. That's sometimes the quirks about Vault. It sometimes messes you up just for those little things. So now we're in the archives, and we have to go through each of these. We have to go through each of these to get through, to unlock we have to unlock the portals that we were just in. So we have to unlock these portals, and in order for us to do that, we have to find this location. And so both of these, the terminus is where you're at, and you go through each of these. So I'm right now in the storm halls now to get through, and I have to find one of those locks, and I have to unlock each of them. So the best way to figure out that you're going in the right location is when you get a long haul like this. So now you're going in the right way. Okay, now I have to find for one more long haul, and the long haul will take me to the exact location, and here it is. There's the long haul, and there's where I need to be. Unlock that. Now find the way out right there. Okay, got lucky. That was the first one I checked. Now we go in here to this nice little portal. Here we go. Alright. half hour into the Realm of the Shadow. Okay, Realm of the Shadow. This is where you basically find his body. And again, so like those locks that you were just finding before, they're going to appear again. And so you have to find where it looks like a lock. And here it is. There's a looks like a lock. So once you find that you've found the area that looks like a lock, Zoltan Kuhl's body is very close ahead, very close. And there it was. Once you get it, that portal will open. Boom. And now we can go in. And so now we're going to go in and fight Zoltan Kuhl. So we resurrect him and then we kill him. This is so ridiculous. It's like, what was the whole point of having him in the first place? So he decided, you know what, I'm going to do something evil since you now resurrected me, and now you have to fight him. And so you fight him. So he's one of the major bosses of Act 2. Now we go back to Hidden Camp. And we're now trying to escape a little bit. So now all these things are happening. Now we have to try to save the people. Well, you have all these carts, and you have to save all these people in order for you to move on to the next thing, which is the main boss fight of Act 2, which we're almost done of it. So you have to hit these carts in all around the town, and you're just zipping through, and you have to save all these people, and they have to see you. If they don't see you, they won't come with you. And so again, like I said, I'm hitting these carts so that these people can be freed. So once I have it, then I zip over to the sewer, and then I can move on to the next thing. And there it is. And once that happens, Leah will magically teleport right here to the doors that open this door. Alright, and now we're going to move on so we can have the last boss fight of Act 2, which is very easy. Again, when you have sentries, you can take these things out in one shot. So you're trying to get Leah to open this door. Again, they're having some conversations, so I'm trying to make it go a little bit faster. So here we go. Now we're moving on with the fight. And I believe this fight's with Belial. Yes, it is Belial. Okay, Belial is very easy. Again, we're going to try to... He's going to do two forms here. The first form, again, we're going to try to take him out in one shot so that we can move on to the next phase that he's going to do. So he's going to come down and... Boom! There he... Alright. Now he's going to go and transition to his next phase. And he's going to become a very large guy here in a second. It's going to look like Return of Jafar right now. You know what? I just didn't even have a chance. Shot him really quick. Then you have to get the Soul Stone. So now you get to get the Soul of Belial to end the fight. Cut through the cutscenes. Get to back to the town. So you can move on to the next act. And now talk to Teriel, talk to this guy over here, and we've moved on to Act. Now we're moving on to Act 3. Alright. Moving on to Act 3. Okay. Saved a second. It was like... That's how close this was. Now Act 3. Okay. So, town's under siege. And... you're trying to stop Asmodam from taking it over. So now this is the next phase that we're trying to get into. And at the end of this scene, this is where we find out who Diablo really is the entire time. And Adria has actually plotted this the entire way through, getting her daughter Leah to be Diablo. And so by killing Asmodam and having that soul and keeping that all together will now make Leah Diablo. And so this is what's going to happen here. So I've kind of gave away a lot of the plot there for a second. But the first thing we got to do is light off these fires, these signal fires. And there's 5 of them. And they're always in the same locations. The map is always the same. And so one good thing about this game is that some maps are always the same. And then some maps are not. This is one where the map is always the same. And you know exactly where the signal fires are going to be, so you don't have to like guess on where they're going to be. They're going to be in specific locations. And so I'm lighting these signal fires. Now we're ready to move on. Okay, now we're going to go on to Stone Fort. Alright, now we're going on to Stone Fort. Now what's gonna happen here is where I'm gonna have to like protect this group of guys really quick, and this becomes really easy. Becomes really easy, um, and you just take out guys until you get to the end. And it takes, I mean, you have to wait for each of these to spawn, and that's the one downfall by this. You can't hurry this up any faster. You have to wait for these spawns to happen, and then once you killed enough enemies, the bridge will come up. So I'm waiting for that to happen right now. Oh, and here we go. Once the bridge comes up, then we're gonna raise 3 catapults, and that's gonna be very important. So now we're gonna raise 3 catapults. So we need to get to those locations, and I'm gonna try to make sure that all 3 catapults are being done at the same time. Now, with that said, the catapults have enemies that will be spawning in, and so it will slow down the time on some of these and speed up the time in others. So what I'm going to do here is I try to place some sentries here to keep the enemies from not spawning too much, so that we can continue having guys keep pulling up the catapult. So right now the catapult level is going up a little bit. So now I'm going off to the next one. And I left 2 sentries there to maybe hopefully help the situation. Then we start off the next one. This one's very easy. This one's usually the easiest of the 2. So now we're about a quarter of the way there with the first one. And then I'm going to go over to this one. This one you got to do it manually. So you actually have to stay here and lift up this one. This one will go by really quick. This is the faster of the 3. So I will be putting sentries down and taking guys out, and I'm just like, you know, pressing A the entire time, you know, just tapping A while my sentries are doing most of the work. But now, as you can see, the third one on the bottom has taken over, and that's the one I'm working on right now, because this one's the fastest one that could be raised. And so I'm hitting A really repeatedly, and so now we're waiting for the other 2 to come. And once this one's done, I can now move back to the other 2 and take care of those guys and get them moving. And part of the reason is because of those guys. And so now, since we got that one raised, now I just gotta wait for number 1, and that's what we gotta do. Now we just gotta wait for number 1 to raise, and that one won't take any much longer. And so now I'll have to head back to the town. So that's what I'm doing right now, the stronghold. And we're back. Okay. Now they're going to try to get into the stronghold. Nope, that's not going to work. Boom. See ya, dudes. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be in the keep depths. And in the keep, this is where terrible RNG can happen. There's a lot of rooms in here. There's a lot of doors you have to go through. And vaulting through doors is not easy. Like, you have to really slow your character down to vault through the doors and everything if you want to use vault continually. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for a area just like that, and I thought I had found the right area really quickly, and I was like really excited. Did I find it just now? No, I did not find it at all. So you want to find a room just like the one I just went through just a little while ago that goes off just like that. It kind of similar to this kind of room, but not quite. You want to find that. This is where you want to find. And so it kind of threw me off because it gave me 2 of those instead of 1, like it normally does. And so I thought I got through the keep level 1 really quickly, but it's okay. I still got through pretty quickly, minus that. All right, so now we're in the keep level 2. Now we got to find the snow, where it's snowing, and it looks like the building got destroyed partially, and that tells me that I'm in the right place. Well, it goes off to the top left corner, so I know that I need to get into that in some way or form. And so I'm going through these, and as you can see, vaulting through doors is not easy. It is not easy at all to vault through the doors. So I'm trying to find my right, where it's going to go off to the left, and here it is right here. There's where it looks like it's been destroyed right there. And here we are. All right, now we gotta get to the breach. So we got to the breach, and then we got to the keep level 3, and now we have to go to the top right corner, and we have to find which way is that to go. I got lucky, and here it is right here. There's 3 different ways you can go, and if you go the wrong way, actually it's more like 2 different ways you can go. If you go the wrong way, you lose time. And here's the larder. Like I said, boss fights are really easy. This is the first main boss fight in Act 3. Act 3 is one of the shorter acts compared to the other 2 that we just did. And also Act 4 is really, really short. It's the shortest of the 5 acts that we deal with in this game. So here we go. Alright, take care of that. Leah was talking about how strong her the soul stone was, and she was having a hard time with it. And it's like, well, obviously because Adria's gonna make you Diablo, but she doesn't get that yet, and she's still trying to keep the soul stone together. Anywho, we have to get to this bridge. We get moving on. We move past this bridge. Okay, and here we go. We got through. Okay, congrats. Now, Fields of Slaughter. We have 3 catapults we have to destroy, and 1 major, like, huge weapon coming out of the ground. It looks like a volcano. Here's that right here. Take this out. Boom, done. Alright. Again, since I have multi-shot as a grand weapon, and for some reason I lost my hatred there for a little bit. But that's okay. Once you've done all that, you can move on through this. And here we go. The crossing. We have to get through all this stuff here. Certain points we'll have to go downstairs. We'll have to go upstairs. And you just got to find when it's going to do that. And right here, in a couple of spots we do that. So we have to get through some stuff. We get some barricades we have to go through. And again, like I said, I'm watching the map versus what I'm watching on gameplay, because I want to use the map on the signaling to where I need to go next versus okay, where's the next like doorway, or where's the next stairs. And so that's what I'm doing here to make kind of my run a little bit faster. Alright, here we go. Another main boss fight here in Act 3. And we destroy him in 1 shot. Again, putting a sentry down using multi-shot destroys everything. Alright, now we're in the edge of the abyss. Area crater level 1. I'm going to be wanting to find my exit point at the top right of my screen. And I gotta make sure I'm going the right direction, because Asmodeum's going to pop up right there, and that means the exit's really here, right there. Okay. So that's what I'm doing every time, is I'm trying to know where my locations for my exits are, and then just me trying to find to get there. Oh, I reached the Paragon level. Paragon levels, I'll talk about that really quick. I'm just now thinking about that. Paragon levels are important too. The world record holder has Paragon level over 1,000. And compare that to what I'm doing with this run with a Paragon level of 300. That's insane. How like I'm only a few minutes behind the world record for console of this, and this is only with Paragon level 300. So the world record holder has a Paragon level of over 1,000, and he does the same strategy as I do with the vaulting, but I don't know how well he's familiar with the maps and everything like that. And so being familiar with the maps is one thing with this whole run, and then knowing where you have to go for those maps is another thing, because if you don't know those locations, then you make life hard on yourself, because then you're trying to find exits versus not knowing where they will be. And so a lot of this run's going to be like you have to kind of memorize where exit locations are, because exit locations are usually the same. Everything else not so much. So here I go, I'm going through this, and map RNGs again. Map RNG got me, and so I have to backtrack and be like, it should have went this way. And I'll probably say that if I were to run this game, I'll be like, oh no, I should have went this way. But it's all good. It's all good. I find that it's this way, go in the right direction. There he is. Asmodam will pop up again to your next thing. Okay. Tower of the Cursed level 1. Here we go. Alright, so now we're trying to... Cydrea is the next person that we're going to have a boss fight with. And then it's going to be Asmodam. It's going to be like back to back really quick. So we just had like a mini boss fight with her, but she didn't die. So we have to kill her before we move on to Asmodam. And so that's what we're trying to get to right now. And certain maps on these towers are very easy. They're usually the same. All you got to do is just go around in a circle until you reach your endpoint. And that's what I'm doing here. And here we are. We're at our endpoint. And there's the exit. Boom, done. Okay. Heart of the Cursed. Okay, so this is where you're going to fight Cydrea. And you're basically going to destroy her again in one shot. Drop the sentries. Boom. Get out of here. You're done. And then we destroy the heart, and then your exit is right over here. Alright. The cool thing is the core of the area will always point in the direction where you're supposed to go. So you don't have to worry about map RNG. This is like the one time throughout the game where you get the nice little arrow saying, hey, it's over here. Just go this way and you're fine. I'm like, okay. Seems easy enough for me. Now we're going to face off against Asmodam. Heart of the Sin, that's where he's at. And here we go. We're gonna, again, placing sentries. Boom. We didn't even have a chance to get down, buddy. Oh, he's going through this like bloody portal thing. Oh, well, he's gone. All right. Get his soul. Collect his soul. Now we're moving on to the last little bit. We find out that Adria has made Leah Diablo. And so now we're going to go on to Act 4 here momentarily. Saved a really good bit of time here. And it's due to the fact that like I found easier strat how to handle with the maps on that stage, so it wasn't too bad. It could have been a lot faster if I did not have bad map RNG on a couple areas, so it could have been a lot faster. Alright, we're in Act 4. Act 4 is the shortest act, so this guy is going to talk to me. I'm going to go away, and that conversation is like 30 seconds long, and you're like, okay dude, just get the talking done. But finding the idea of walking away from the script actually moves the game forward a little bit faster, which is nice. So we want that to happen instead of just sitting there. So we get to fight this little mini boss here. This guy here is just a little pain in the butt. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna throw these little guys at you. You can't kill them in one shot in one cycle. It always will be 2 cycles here where the guy is gonna pop up again. You just kill these enemies until he pops up again. They come out of these little... There we go. He's done. So now we're moving on. We got to save one of the archangels here. So we're going to do that. And that's what we're going to work on right now with this. So you head over here. Zipping on through. And then you head to the left. You can't go anywhere because those little mounds of Diablo... I guess diabolic mounds, or I guess you want to call them, are blocking your way. So you have to kill this guy first before you can even do that. Alright, so here we go. Another little boss fight. You know what? Don't mind me. I'll just multi-shot you in one shot. Save the archangel. Okay, we're good. Talk to him. Okay, we're good. We move on. Cutscene. Go through the portal. And now this is where some of this act sucks. Where you have to find one of the pillars. Now we have to find a portal within these mounds. I'm going to call it demonic mounds. So here we go. Diabolic mounds. There we go. That makes sense. I said that the first time. I don't know why I didn't do that. So you're trying to find one of these portals out of these mounds, and there it is, finally. Okay, so you find this portal. It's a hell rift, and so all you gotta do is just find one of these portals. You go through all to the end, knock out that thing. Angel comes. Hell rift is closed. Thank you. Yay. Okay, so you get that one done. That's the first one. Now you go through this portal, and now you gotta find the second one. And sometimes the second one could be right there, or it could be literally the last one you find. And so I'm going through all of these. zipping my way through, vaulting my way through, trying to find which one it is. And I'm not kidding when I say this, I skipped a little bit, missed a set of them, and so I'm basically risking my chance of having this be over here somewhere. And nope, wasn't over there, so I'm hoping it's over here. If it's on the right side, it's not a bad thing, but getting it out of the way immediately is the best thing that you can have, because you're not searching for it like I'm doing right now. I'm going through a huge search for it, and I'm like, oh gosh, where is this thing? And so I finally find it over here. I don't know where the exit point is, but I finally find it over here. Had I gone that way instead of down, I would have found it earlier. So here's the second one. And again, take out the dudes really quickly. There's is. Done. Okay. Hell Rift is closed. Alright, now leave. Moving on to the next thing. You gotta kill this certain... There's one enemy right there that Tyrael's messing with that you have to kill. And if you don't kill him, it's a pain in the butt to get him to start talking. But you have to kill him before you start talking. So there it is. You go through the portal. Here we go. We're almost done with Act 4, believe it or not. This is how quick this act is. You go through here. Alright, now it's finding your way to the boss fight of Diablo. And so now you're just zipping through. So this first little level is easy. Okay, Silver Spire level 1. This is where things could get really bad. The exit point could be anywhere, like in any direction. It could go top left, it could go bottom right, it could go bottom left. Top left, top right. I mean, it just depends on how your map's set up. This one, it went to the top right. This is always the same map. You go down this way, you'll have another mini boss fight. Iswell. You go, boom. See ya, dude. not even a chance. You put a sentry down, it's not even a chance. They're like, oh hey, I'm here. Oh, dead. All right. So here we go. Now we're in the Silver Spire level 2, and again, same idea. You're trying to find the exit point. For me, the way I know if I'm in the right track is if I see two bridges next to each other. And so I'm looking for that little idea where I'm looking for two bridges next to each other like that, like this, where the map shows two bridges next to each other, and then that's what I'm looking for to find my exit. Because if I know if I can find those two bridges next to each other, then the exit's going to be off of one of those. Hopefully you guys can't hear that rain. It's really it's coming down really hard today. Anyways, apologize for that if you hear it. I apologize if you've heard a couple of yawns today too. I've been really tired recently, so trying to get off this last submission run for you guys. So here we go. All right. So finally, we're on the Crystal Arc, and this is where Diablo's at. So now we're gonna do the Diablo fight. Again, sentries are really helpful. Okay, so there's the first phase. Skip the cutscene, move on to the next. And I've had loading times where I've sat here a little longer than I probably should have. So that can also be a factor with the loading sometimes. And waiting for the load. Like, it's been about 10 seconds. Skip the cutscene, drop a sentry, boom. See ya, dude. Skip the cutscene. Alright, let's finish him off. Let's actually finish her off since it was our friend Leah earlier. And there you go. There's the one shot. Done. Okay, we will now end the scene right here. And like I said, this is one of the shortest acts. This is the shortest act of the run itself. Skip. Alright, talk to this angel here. Move on to the next act. And there we go. Got a nice little time save there. Alright, down to the last little act here. Act 5. Oh my gosh. Act 5. This act can be a pain. Then I'm not kidding either. This act can be a real pain. And we'll talk about the map RNG for this act. The beginning of Act 5 is really simple. It's the same maps every time. You're always going in the same direction here. Um, and that's good because you're trying to get to the little town, and it's very easy to get the West March. So mini cutscene there. Don't know why, but you're still moving on. I wish there was a way you could skip the cutscenes. In the PC version, there's many scenes you can cut through and not have to worry about them. Whereas in the console, there's very little things you can skip, and that's why it's a longer run. One of the reasons why it's a longer run. You can't do any of the skips like you could do on PC. But here's the beginning. The beginning's usually the same here. We're gonna go to this church here in a second after we talk to Tyrael. And here we go. We'll go in this church. Call it Zakarum Cathedral. Take out that guy. Done. Talk to Tyrael as he's coming out, because if you miss it, you waste time. And now we're moving to some of the map RNG in Act 5, and there's a bunch of bad map RNG in this one. Here we go. West March Commons is where it all begins. You're trying to find the exit to this guy, and again, the exit can be anywhere. On this map, the exit can be anywhere, so you're just sitting there exploring. I mean, this is a lot of exploring going on in this map, and so here we go. Let's see if we can figure out where the exit is. Okay, so as you can see, I went the wrong way. That already wasted a little bit of time going the wrong way. And then I got an arrow. I'm like, oh, thank you, because I needed that arrow to tell me what to do next. So I used the arrow to my advantage to kind of help me where I need to go. And here is my exit area. There we go. So I need to find Gideon's Row for this reason, because it's the first of little areas here where I have to do this, where I have to get rid of the Death Maiden, and then boom, take out that little death ball portal thing. And once I do that, there's one of them. And then I find Miriam hiding amongst these bodies. I'm like, dude, out of all the places to hide, why you... Well, I guess if you have nowhere else to hide, I guess you can hide there. But they call her a strange woman later. Here's the cemetery. The cemetery is where you can have bad RNG. And I got lucky there finding... I gotta find the little hallway, I guess if you want to call it a little hallway. Little entryway that gets you to the next part of the cemetery, because your exit point's going to be in the next part of the cemetery. So I got lucky with that one. Not so lucky finding the exit, though. I'm just going everywhere, and then finally it appears on my screen where it's like, oh, there it is. Alright, in the courtyard we have another issue with the Death Maiden doing this ritual where you take the souls of everybody, then you destroy that, and you're like, oh, no. Mathiel's like, no, why did you do that? Well, it was very easy. After you've done that, you can move back to the town. So now I'm an hour into this run. Believe it or not, this is still got 15 minutes of this run left to go. So you're in the Survivor's Enclave. Now you're on to the next scene here. Alright, so West March Heights is also another area where you're trying to find your first boss fight of Act 5, and again, it's trying to find the exit. Where is this exit at? And so again, I'm doing just hopefully not running into any corners. Hopefully I'm going in the right direction. And usually Death Maidens can tell me where I need to go. Usually if you find Death Maidens, but I got lucky that I went the right direction and found it. So here we go. Found the tower that I needed to go to do this mini boss fight. And again, pulled the sentry out, took care of it in one, took care of his first part in one shot. Urzael, I guess you want to call him Urzael. Then once he's done with his talking, you take him out and done. Now the next thing is where Malthael's gonna spawn from, and there it is right there. So after his death, it'll spawn either up or down, and so it's very important to see if it's gonna go up or down. That's why you have to look after his death where Malthael's gonna spawn from. All right, so he's talked to Tyrael. Now he talked to the strange woman. They call him they call Miriam the strange woman. The strange woman you found. Yeah, it's like, okay. All right, she's actually an enchantress, and I mean not an enchantress, but she enchants your items, and she's actually very helpful with that because you actually can um, change how your weapons all set up with the specials and stuff that it contains. So she's actually not really a strange woman. She's actually a really helpful woman with how you can set up your equipment that you have for your character. Anywho, let's move on. Okay, now we're getting to some of the bad RNG in the game, the map RNG in the game. And it's all after like an hour into your run of this new game plus percent run that you run into all this RNG. So right now I am like desperately looking for this arrow that I just found. I'm desperately looking for this seal because this seal is gonna tell me where this next cave is at, and I have to find two more in order for me to find the right cave. Because here's the thing: if you actually try to do this without finding the seals and you go into one of these caves, you're gonna waste a bunch of time. So it's up to you to actually find the seals, open the seals to find the right cave to go into. And I am searching. It's not easy to find. I'm searching. There's another cave. Nope, not gonna do it. Searching for these seals, and this is one of the worst times I've ever had with trying to find the seals. So I'm going around. There we go. Found one. Okay, now I'm down to 2 caves, and here's the last one. I just need to find one more. Okay, and then the map tells me where to go as soon as I figure out the seal, that the cave I'm supposed to go into. And so once I find that, now I just zip over to the cave, and here we go. The 2 worst RNG maps in the entire game. Not only do you have to deal with doors and opening them, but you also have to vault through everything. And this is not easy. You get these doors and you're trying to vault through all this, and then it's going back and forth on how it is. It's almost like an Act 3 map. And then once you figure out that you found an event, you've gone the wrong way, just like I just figured out that I went the wrong way. I went to a dead end. So so yeah, this is one of the worst map RNGs in the whole game. Trying to find the exit is not easy. There is no direction on where the exit is always going to be. It could come in different directions, and so I'm trying to figure out where to go. I'm just going through this maze and opening doors, and then I realized I just went all around in a circle. So now I have to go find the other way through this whole entire thing, which should have been this way the whole time. So this is what can happen with this map in particularly. I wasted a ton of time. I could have done it that quickly had I gone up instead of wasting time in circles and stuff. So that's how quick that map could have been. And then here's the second worst map of the game. This one here. So right as soon as you just deal with that first map, you deal with the second one just like it, but even worse, because now you're trying to figure out, okay, where's my exit for this boss fight? You're going to actually face Adria here soon. And you're trying to find this exit. You're like, okay, I'm opening doors. Here we go again. Opening doors. Opening doors in this, the more doors that you get in this, the more time you waste. And it's just a ton of time. It's just, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, gotta open another door. And then you gotta vault. And then you gotta find if you're going in the right direction. And so now I'm going this way. And I don't even know if I'm going in the right direction. That's the hard thing about this. I don't even know if I'm going in the right direction. And then I found out that I'm going in a circle. And realized, shoot, I should have went the other way. And sometimes I might pull out the map to be like, where am I supposed to go? So now I'm vaulting back to where I need to go, and then map tells me that I should have went this way. And I had just been on this side, and my exit is going to be very quickly here soon once I find that I should have went this way. And so as I'm going and wondering why I didn't go the right way, I'm just always hoping the hoping I'm going in the right direction. And finally, we find finally find the exit. So now we're gonna face Adria, who looks like a spider now. Oh yeah, did I tell you about putting down sentries and taking them out in one shot with a multi-shot? Yeah, that exists in normal percent, and it's very easy. And there you go. You talk to the dude. Now you go back to the Survivor's Enclave. Sorry, not the Stronghold. That was Act 3. All right. Now we're getting near the end of this run. We've already done half of this act already. Now we're moving on to the last half. And again, taking out a guy in one shot. And talk to Imperius. That guy is not a nice fellow. He doesn't like you. He talks to you for 30 seconds in Act 4 if you allow him to, but we can skip that little scene there. But here we go. We're moving on to the last 10 minutes of this run. And actually, not even last 10 minutes, last 7 minutes of this run. So you're asked to go find Malthael, and we're now trying to find him. He's the last boss in the game. So you're waiting on Imperius to open these gates. He makes a mockery of you and says that we don't have time to do this. I'm like, why don't we just open the gate in the first place? You know, just get it done and over with. But no, you know, he wants you to kill some enemies, and oh man, a whole bunch of enemies come out, and he's like, why do we have to deal with this? Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he doesn't like you at all. Like, the hatred for you is strong with him. And he comes in again. Oh, that's a siege rune. Okay, so that's going to be our next objective, is finding siege runes. And just as you thought you dealt with enough RNG as is, no, not yet. They decided to throw one more at you. The battlefield. Battlefields of Eternity. This is by far probably top 3 bad RNG maps in this game. You have to find 2 siege runes coming from 2 bosses. Well, I guess elite enemies in this map. And it's your goal to find where those guys at. This is a huge map. A very huge map. And so you have to go vault your way around, cover a whole lot of area, and trying to find the 2 elites who have the siege runes. And so I'm just going everywhere, and I'm hoping to do this as fast as I can. There is sometimes it happens immediately, and sometimes it doesn't. And so I found the exit point, which was a good thing, but it also was wasting time. So again, I'm trying to find my first siege rune, and finally I found one. So this is where one of them's located. So you take out these enemies, then you finally face off against this guy, this boss who has it, and boom, there it is. Pick up the siege rune. Don't leave without picking up the siege rune. It's very important because I've actually done that once. So that happened. So I found one. Now I got to find the second one. And sometimes after you find the first one, the second one's the hardest one to find. And it's like, oh gosh, you know, where is this guy gonna be? So you're looking for this elite enemy that has a siege rune, and you're right there. There he is. Oh, then you get lucky and you find it. Again, take him out. Don't leave without the siege rune. You take the siege rune. Now you go to the exit, and now you're moving on to the last little bit of this act. Siege outpost is really easy. There's an elite guy who pops up. Boom, done. Talk to Tyrael. And now we're on the ram. The ram. The ram's gonna open your way to the end of the game. So here we go. So you just sit here and wait. Some enemies will spawn and try to get you off the ram, but guess what? You're not gonna die. You got your lovely sentries taking out dudes for you. You can take them out if you want, like I'm doing. So here we go. Last 4 minutes of the run. And This is very simple. You're just sitting here, just waiting. You're waiting for an elite enemy to come out, and they'll put hooks to try to stop you from using the ram. And those hooks look like they don't even exist when they pop up. So here we go. The ram coming up. Boom. Did they throw? Did they throw hooks? Nope. And I already took out the elite enemy. Like, you didn't even see him. And that's the cool thing about New Game Plus, is like you take out these enemies so quickly, like you don't even know that they even realize that they existed in the first place. Alright, there's the last hit. And now here we go to the last Pandemonium Fortress. Here we go. Level 1 and 2 is what we need to deal with, and then we're done with this. Then we do the Mathiel fight, and then it's game over. So here we go. We're in Pandemonium Fortress level 1. You can skip Tyrael's conversation and just move on. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going to skip the conversation with him and move on to these portal into the map. And so I'm trying to find the exit here, and the exits in Act 5 are all in different locations. Like, it could be on any section of your screen. So it'd be top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Okay, sometimes it'll just happen that way. I think though, and I've been trying to work on this act a little bit more. I really feel that this act has, in this level here, has the map always pointing in the top left or right. So I'm always searching for that top left or right. And again, I found an event, so I was like, oh, dang it, I'm in the wrong location again. Then I checked the map to see where I missed, and I missed it over here. And so the map will always signify like how you're gonna find the exit. Sometimes you find the exit really quickly. Like, I'm not kidding too. Like, the RNG can be this bad where you're still running. But again, top left corner was where it was. Sometimes it's the top right. So it's always either top left or top right, I think, for that first level. This one here is usually the same. So what I've kind of figured out for the strat on this one is I always stay to the left side, because you'll find your exit point starting to the left, because you have to find these portals. And there they are. You go to the left side and you find the portals, and once you find the portals, you're going to be heading towards the exit with ease. You just have to get through everything. And so there's one set of portal that you just went through. So now you're on the second set. Okay, now you're on the third. And then you're just finding your exit points with each portal. Now you're in the fourth. And here we go. Level 3 is where you do your boss fight with Mathiel. And time will come after you talk with Tyrael. So once you say the game is over with their conversation with Tyrael, then you stop the timer. So quick fight there. Mathiel is talking to you, then you do another hit on him, drop a sentry, and kaboom. And he's dead. Now you just wait for Tyrael to come out after he dies. He's having a dramatic death here. Boom. There he goes. And then Tyrael will come out, walk slowly. Come on, Tyrael, let's go. Let's go. And talk to him. And congratulations, you hit that. Boom, you're done. And there's where the timer stops.
1 hour, 15 minutes.
Okay, very long run. An hour and 15 minutes. Like I said, I would estimate to about an hour and 25, just because of the map RNG. If I have to find things and search for things. This is a very fun run, though. It's a very fun run. You get the vault through the game very quickly. Console is very, very interesting in that regard. So again, this is played off the Xbox One, and like I said, you definitely need certain set pieces. And the cool thing about this run, it's still in the early stages of, work on it. Like, is it possible to do a sub hour? We don't know that. Is it possible to go an hour 5 minutes even? It could be. The world record's set at an hour and 8 minutes right now, and hour and 8 minutes, I believe it says 51 seconds, or is it hour and 9 minutes 51 seconds? So it's very possible to do more to this run. If there's more skips that we haven't figured out yet, because there's very little minor skips, but they're not really huge. It's just all dialogue skips and stuff like that. So if we can figure those things out, that would be kind of cool. But this is the run as it stands as of right now. I'll definitely have my character leveled up a little bit more to make the run maybe go possibly faster than the hour and 15 minutes that I have. And so if this gets considered, my character will be leveling up a ton between now and then, obviously for sure. And so this is a really fun run to go through. Diablo 3 is a fun game, and I hope you all consider it for a GDQ. And thanks for watching. This runs one of my little favorite runs to do on the new gen stuff.